Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am starting this video from home. One, just to show you how absolutely cold it is. Look at that. The car's been warming up for a little bit now. So we're starting to get stuff defrosted. But I have the trailer with me. Why do I have a trailer with me? Because I purchased a non-running vehicle from a dealer-only auction. The vehicle has a rebuilt title and it's a non-runner. Now, why it's a non-runner is a little, I guess, surprising, or it doesn't make sense to me, because the photos that you guys are currently looking at, clearly we could see that RPMs are running. We could see that the vehicle is in between two other vehicles. There's a vehicle in front, there's a vehicle behind, and it's in the lane. So it seems like at one point at the auction it was a runner. So the question is, why is it a non-runner now? But anyways, I didn't want to risk it. And to be cautious and more or less prepared, I got our trailer. Plus I will need trailer for another vehicle that I have. So I will be holding on to the trailer, I guess, in my possession for about a week. But we are heading to the auction. Once we get there, I mean, hopefully it's a run and drive, then I'll just drive it up on the trailer and strap it down, take it to the lot, and kind of go from there. If it is in fact the in-op, we will be using the winch. Pull it up here, and then we will try to figure out why is it an in-op when it seems like not too long ago it was a running vehicle. Well, here's the Cross Point offsite location, and here is my little Fiat. So 921 registration just expired. This beauty is a 2015. Like I said, it's an in-op. Why is it an in-op? We will have to find out. But guys, this is my first Fiat. I feel like I have owned nearly every automaker. There's probably like 5 automakers that I have yet to own. Fiat is one of those. So that's another kind of mental checklist that's getting taken care of. So first thing I want to do, they said key should be here. Oh, there's the key. Is check fluids. My assumption, maybe between then and now, it's seized. The engine seized or something crazy. So I just want to check that we have oil. We do have oil, seems a little dark. Ooh, multi-air turbo. We have coolant, so probably not an overheating thing. And the other thing, I mean, it could be an electrical issue. I'll leave this open. So let's see if I could start it actually. Because, let's see. I guess, let's see if I'm lucky. I don't hear any chirping. So battery's dead. And it ate my key. So I have a jump box with me. I'll actually leave the door open just in case. I mean, I don't know Fiats. So let me get the jump box, we'll throw it on there, see if I could get it started. I put the jump box on and I didn't hear the typical like clicking type of deal. So let's see, first start. It's cranking, but it ain't starting. So first assumption, almost sounds like maybe low compression type of symptoms. Yeah, but we could do a compression test at the lot. It says change oil, and I did say it seems a little dirty. So what I am going to do now is actually position the jump box a little bit down, close this, pull up the GMC, and then push this thing out, and we are going to winch it up. Jump box has been on for a few minutes now, so I'm going to try to start it again one more time. If it doesn't start, then we'll start pushing it. I'll start pushing it. But now it actually shows, so that's weird. So I see quarter tank, but when I was starting or trying to start it, it showed like we were out of gas. So I mean, it could be as simple as that. My only thing is, if it is as simple as that, why didn't the auction catch it? Stop. Do out. That way. Okay, so here's John. Actually, a little more. Go. Okay. All right, Chloe?
Not yet, Chloe. Don't touch anything yet.
Okay, go, baby. Okay, that's good. Beautiful. What do you guys think? It's a 2015 Fiat with like 20,000 miles. So my thought process is, what could have happened where it's a non-runner? Yeah, 22,000 miles basically. What could it be? Could be a fuel sensor. So, you know, low on fuel or whatnot. But again, I am so unfamiliar with these Fiats. I don't know their headaches, I don't know their problems. I just know and feel like I got a really good price on it. So again, it's a rebuilt title. From what I saw, damage was to the rear, but it was so minimal that this honestly might be the original bumper. And the damage happened when it had less than 1,000 miles. So it's been on the road for 21,000 miles essentially, and now it's a non-runner. My winning bid was $1,800. After fees, I'm like $2,200 into this car. With a clean title, it books for like $8,700. So I got it 4 times cheaper. So if it's a simple fix, then I think I really scored. If it's a seized motor or something, then I'll probably go to an auction, Copar or IAA, something of that sort. We'll kind of go from there, but yeah, let's take it to the lot and see what we could come up with.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Fiat is now at the lot. I am sending Dina to get some fuel for this thing, just because, you know, when I try to start it, it shows that it's empty, so it could be a fuel issue, but I think that's the easiest, simplest thing. to try, least expensive, least time consuming, so that will be the first goal. I am going to unload it and probably park it right here. I was about to take the car off, but it seems like Dina's back with some fuel, so we will try that approach. Put some fuel in this thing and try to start it again, see what happens. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see. Get it primed. So now we're showing, you know, half a tank almost. So there it goes. And nothing.
The next day.
I had to leave the Fiat yesterday because I had to pick up 3 more cars. So honestly, I just kind of dropped it off and went to grab the other cars. So returning back to this thing, I am assuming and thinking that it's fuel related. I just swapped the 3 big relays, well 3 of these and then 2 of these, just places. This is our fuel pump, I think. This is our powertrain. So I pulled this thing out. It doesn't look terrible if I could get some focus on it, but it definitely doesn't look good, especially the ends, they're almost corroded. So that could be it. I don't have any other 10s at the lot, but I have a whole bunch of fuses at home. So I am going to throw my jump box on this thing now and try to start it again. If it doesn't work, then I'll just bring a whole bunch of fuses and essentially replace all of them that look a little bit suspicious. Let's see what happens now. So look, the really weird thing for me is, no, see, I feel like I heard it that time, the pump, fuel pump. Radiator fluid temperature high, change oil, what else do we got? So actually what I am going to try, ooh, blur, is grab my scanner and pull the codes, see if there are any stored codes. Maybe that will give me an idea or a direction to kind of look into. Unfortunately, that did not give me the result I wanted. There are no pending or stored codes in both of the modules. Boo.
The next day.
It is a new day and still trying to get this thing to start. So with me is Nick.
Hello.
If you guys are following the channel, Nick is responsible for starting the R8. And he knows a lot of electrical stuff and thumbs up mechanic. So I asked him to come through and help out. So we'll see. He has this fancy computer thing and we'll check, and I guess we'll see if we could get this thing started. You found the problem?
Break-in attempt, immobilizer.
Ooh, look at that. What did I tell you guys? What did I just say? So that would kind of make sense if it went into a security thing. So question for you. Can your computer unlock it, or how do we unlock it?
You might have to reprogram the keys. The immobilizer, not sure, I'll have to double check. It started at the auction, probably battery died or something.
And it went to safe mode?
Exactly.
Okay.
Sometimes they unprogram themselves.
I mean, that would make sense because the battery's dead. I mean, as long as I could hear it run and it runs fine, then I guess get a new battery and go from there. But it does crank, so it seems like it is
So
fine.
what I am guessing is when we're cranking it, we are not going to have any injector pulse, which is usually the case. Computer isn't sending fuel.
Could be. So that's what you see, right? The faults.
I haven't read the faults yet, but that's just what I saw in the instrument cluster.
So if it is more or less like, oh, look at that. If it is an issue with the immobilizer, locksmith is the one to bypass and fix it, or?
I might be able to bypass it with a couple resistors. We'll double check first.
Okay.
I'm gonna erase the codes first, do a system scan.
So what we're trying now is put a new key inside the key fob, because the key fob buttons don't work. And the suspicion is, and it was kind of corroded, is that the key itself is bad. Therefore, the little chip inside, it's not reading it, so that's why the disconnect is happening. So that's kind of the first thought process, and I suppose the easiest. I actually reached out to my locksmith, see how much a new key would be for this thing, if you'd be able to program it. Next step will be to get a new battery for it, and then with a new battery and new key fob programmed, try to start it again. If that doesn't work, then we will continue on.
A few moments later.
We are checking the injectors now, and he's measuring voltage or something. So he just said good news. I have no idea what that means, but I'll take his word for it. It looks like a little doo-doo on that. Ah, nice looking spark plug though. So yeah, we have, Nick, what did you call it? Spark pulse, right?
Injector pulse.
Injector. Oh, injector. We're doing spark plugs now. Ready?
Alright.
So, do we have spark? We have spark.
So far we just checked one cylinder.
I mean, wouldn't run on one cylinder, but
It wouldn't, but I mean, it's not running at all.
Right.
If one cylinder was working,
it would at least, yep, something more than what we have.
exactly. These spark plugs themselves are bad.
Spark plugs? Could be. So, I mean, we checked for spark, checked for fuel, we've poked around, checked all the fuses, all the relays.
Do you have a magnet?
Magnet? No, but I have a socket. Next up is a compression test on all 4 cylinders, see what that tells us. But we are kind of running out of options at this point.
It hasn't started yet though.
I know, but we did a lot of backyard mechanic stuff. So Nick pulled all the spark plugs. I tried to get new ones, they didn't have any. But we used brake cleaner and you know, some fire to clean them off. Put them back in. We actually just cranked it over. Want to show you guys that this thing is nearly starting. There it goes. We even have some vibration. Yeah, it is super close. Yep. So tomorrow, because it's nearly 5 o'clock now in my wholesaler, they're not going to deliver them tonight. So probably tomorrow morning, I don't know if Nick wants to return or not, I will get the new plugs in, and well, I'll get a new battery, new plugs. I'll also get an oil filter because the oil is a little bit dirty, so we'll just kind of do a tune-up on it, if you will. But yeah, it is actually super close to starting now, which is fantastic news. But man, all 4 spark plugs, usually, you know, one goes out or whatnot, but this is, at least for me, first time that all 4 spark plugs were in this condition, where the vehicle will literally not start.
They were flooded, the spark plugs.
Yeah, they were also flooded. So I'm curious, why are we in this mess, more or less? Like, who got it to this point?
The next day.
I don't know about you guys, but I am way ready to get this thing started and running. So battery has been pulled out. I put the fuse cover back on. This is an old core from a different car. This is the Fiat battery. I let Nick know that I am here. I don't know if he'll want to stop by or not. He's going on vacation today. But hopefully within the next 20-30 minutes, new battery will get here. I will put everything back together, install new spark plugs, and hopefully she'll start, hopefully she'll run. I guess we'll go from there.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
I think it is moment of truth. Before I try to start it, I want to say that these are the most expensive spark plugs I think I have purchased for any vehicle. They're like 17 something a piece, $17 a piece. But I put everything back together, new batteries installed. Wish me luck, guys. And she runs. That's gonna be normal because, as we said, the previous plugs were flooded. How? No idea. Clearly it's not happy. Yeah, it's missing, but I will let it run at least for a few minutes. Yeah, that puffing is no good. And we have a flashing check engine light, which shows us that the issue that we're having is happening right now. But at least we know it runs. And with it running 5-10 minutes, it'll probably give us a check engine code, which will help diagnose and essentially fix it all the way. But seems like it's running somewhat better now. But this is a cold start and it does run, which I am very happy about. So I will let it run for 5-10 minutes. Now we have a check engine light that's permanently on. I will clean this up, the spark plugs, my tools, and I will go grab my scanner and see what kind of codes we have. Here's our initial scan. We have 2 codes found. So let's go through the modules. Read codes, stored, nothing, pending, nothing. Let's go here. Read codes, stored. Manufacturer specific codes are not found. So what do we have? Fiat. Cylinder 3, oil supply, solenoid valve, driver, open circuit, and cylinder 3, misfire. Okay, that's stored. And what do we have? Pending codes. Cylinder 3, random multiple misfire. So a whole bunch of stuff with cylinder 3. Here is my current thought process. The spark plugs were flooded. Essentially, like, I want to say oil, gasoline specific, but I would say a weird mixture of two. I mean, they're just super dark and slightly wet. I don't think there's an issue with oil getting into the engine, but clearly when you're trying to start the vehicle and it doesn't start, it'll flood the spark plugs. So now that the motor runs, I am thinking that maybe the oil pressure sensor also got gunked up. Seems like it'll need a good maintenance, if you will. And from a very, very quick Google search, people are saying the symptoms or the engine code could be caused by dirty oil, old oil, incorrect weight of the oil, bad oil pressure switch. So essentially something oil related. I am very glad that I got the engine at least to run with Nick's help. And it ran for maybe 5-10 minutes. Temperature gauge started to go up. So hopefully it running, some of the stuff started to burn off, and you know, the normal things that happen when an engine is running started to kind of happen. I am going to get some oil for it. And it actually takes odd oil, 5W40 oil if I remember correctly. And then do some research, see where the oil pressure switch is or the sensor, see how much it is, how quickly I could get one in, and then do an oil change, see if that helps, and then potentially replace the oil sensor switch, whatever it's called. But I think progress has been made. I am very happy that this is not a dead buy. It's alive, it's running, and it will move under its own power at this point, but it's not perfect. With respect for time, I will end the video here. You guys saw me pick it up, you saw what we did, and the thing runs now. So I wouldn't say it was a bad purchase, definitely a very surprising purchase why it wasn't running, and what led it to be an in-op. But I think for, you know, 2,000 bucks, what, 22, 23, whatever I paid for it after fees, it's a pretty smoking deal regardless. I think worst case scenario, I could take it to the auction right now and still make 1,000 bucks, maybe 2,000 bucks on this thing. So I'm happy with it. If you guys want to see part 2, I guess getting it all the way done to where it's retail ready, let me know. Drop a comment in the comment section below. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing. Thank you for watching. See you guys in another video.